Right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Action activate, and I'll catch you on the swoosh.
Order in the court. Order in the court, I say. I'm Gazbot. This is Action Activate, and with me, as always, is...
It is I. It is the big dog with my Bucky shirt. Shout out Bucky's. If you've never been to that gas station, you're missing out.
Gas? Is that a real gas station?
Yeah, you never heard of Bucky's?
No, I thought it was like
Dude.
a video game.
All right, shout out Bucky's. Bucky's. I don't know.
I've never been to Bucky's.
I don't know.
Where's Bucky's?
I went to the one in Texas. Apparently, they're in a few other southern states. It's this giant gas station with like over 100 gas pumps, but inside they have this giant like food court essentially, and all these cool tchotchkes and stuff to buy.
Is it like for truckers where they have like showers and beds and stuff?
I don't think they have beds. Maybe they have showers, but like they have like food, like legitimate good food, and it's awesome.
I never heard of it. I saw your shirt, but I thought it was a thing like fake branding from a video game or something.
No, it's awesome. But we're not here to talk about the greatest gas station in America. We're here to talk about Power Rangers Mystic Force, episode 21, which is Koragg's trial. Gaz, start us off with your initial impressions.
Well, there were a lot of comments on our last one of like, glad you enjoyed that three-parter. I look forward to you not liking this one. So I went into it thinking I'm not going to like this one. I kind of went on a roller coaster ride. This isn't my favorite episode, but I didn't hate it. Spoilers, it's kind of a clip show.
It is a clip show. It's not kind of a clip show. It is a clip show.
As clip shows go, it's one of the better ones because I feel like it's only about a third of the episode is a clip show.
Yeah, but then the rest of the episode is not as coherent.
You wanted my initial impressions. This is what I'm saying.
I wanted your impressions, and your impressions are wrong. So, no, it is a clip show. This was a weird one. Definitely didn't enjoy it as much as you.
I'm not saying I loved it.
But it was interesting. We're gonna dive into it in case it wasn't abundantly clear.
Yeah.
So the thing that to me was weird was I remember at the 5-minute mark, I didn't pause the video, but I flickered it to see how far in the episode. I'm like, why are we having a Megazord fight? And is this episode shot backwards? What is going on?
Around that time is when I was like, I bet you this is going to be a clip show. And partially because people had said in the comments that we weren't going to like it. So that's usually a good indicator. But I did like this bit of comedy where he accidentally splooched her and then she intentionally does it all over him.
Yeah.
Because I've seen that exact, not with paint, but I've seen that exact reaction in real life where one friend, oops, and it's like, well, now you're getting the whole thing on you, so.
I didn't mind this subplot. It was kind of whatever. Obviously, it was very filler. The trial subplot itself was... I hate the Master as our big bad that we've never seen.
I didn't mind that we never saw him. I hate that we now see his eye and hear growls and stuff. It's like, say something. What do you talk? What it reminded me of? What was
Dark Spectre?
Yeah, no, well, a little bit, no, but more in. I want to say it was Ninja Storm, where
trying to remember
the monster that you'd see through the crack of the door. Isn't Ninja Storm the one where they had the little human-looking girl on the ship?
Oh, are you thinking of SPD?
SPD. I'm sorry. Yes, SPD. Thank you.
Yeah.
And they had some kind of monster alien back there. You didn't see, but you would still kind of. I don't know. That works better somehow.
To me, nothing will beat Dark Spectre as the ominous big bad that we hear and we kind of see, but that never really interacts with anybody.
Right.
That to me is the epitome, and this is a awful eyeball version of that.
I think I agree, and I think what makes this one especially not work or bad is that I think to make this trope work at all, you either need to kind of have them there, you see their silhouette and they issue commands, they're trapped, but they could still say things and they're running the show, or you never see or hear from them, and it's just this mysterious. Who knows what they? But this one, like, you see them just enough to be like, well, what? Say something. What are you doing? Like, what? They're just down there like, lightning once in a while. Like, it's weird. Like, either don't show it or make them actually be a character.
Yeah.
But it's
I feel like, and these are later seasons, but Jungle Fury had something like this that they did better. And then especially in RPM, like they did it phenomenally with Vengeance.
Oh yeah. Sure.
Also, like, so this shot right here is clearly Sentai.
Mm-hmm.
This episode, I feel like used Sentai footage really weird.
I agree. There was a lot of weird stuff that I'm like, I guess it's Sentai footage, but
then the other stuff wasn't Sentai footage, and I'm like, I don't know what story you guys are like Frankensteining, but it didn't work.
I'm also trying to remember in this scene, did they talk about Green being sick? Was there a line where they said that? Somewhere?
Maybe there was a line, but also I missed it because they didn't do a good job of like a reason why he's not there.
Right. So when they showed up, they were like, yeah, he wasn't there. And like, and clearly it's Sentai footage why he's not there. But then when he well, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself because I also, this whole fight, I did not like.
Same.
And the main reason is they just got these, the legendary powers, is that what they call them?
Yeah.
Okay. So they just got these legendary powers last episode or the last story, let's say. And they explain how they're like super powerful. And they use them to defeat the Void Beasts or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Which were super powerful, could beat them. They had the Void Beasts had beaten Koragg. And now Koragg shows up and he's like, I'm going to fight you in your new super forms. And he just mops the floor with him. And it's like, what?
He got his like power back, right?
Yeah.
Was that this episode?
I'm trying to remember. I don't remember.
Full transparency. We watched this episode and the next episode back to back. So parts I'm making sure I'm not super jumbling. But yeah, so if he's at base power, what we've seen all season.
Oh, no, this is him getting his power back. Right?
Okay, good.
But we have seen them fight him decently well. We've seen the Red Ranger fight him.
And the yellow.
Yeah, so it's like, why, in their powered up mode, he should not, and he's not just winning, he's like just mopping the floor with them.
Yeah,
you guys
annihilating them.
It made no sense. Like,
and then what saved them?
Green's Vine.
Unmorphed Green using magic
from off screen. And now again, this is where we talk about it's obviously now this does look cool, but it's and I do kind of hate the shot where they cut to him and he's just like, yeah, thumbs up. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Okay, he's gonna beat him, and then whoa, what the heck? Here comes that vine, and then they cut, and Xander's just like,
they're at a quarry next to the ocean, and he's like clearly somewhere else.
Just this insert shot, and then they even cut back to him later. He's like, "Yeah," and it's like, what was going on in the Sentai? Like, it whatever the Sentai was, or trying to make it make sense, but like the whole thing just is weird. It makes no sense.
The thing that I don't understand is when you do a clip show or you do an episode where maybe the Sentai footage doesn't work great and it's like weird to cobble it together because there's a lot of unmorphed people and stuff. They could have easily done so much more before this.
Yes.
Of Xander has like a girl he's trying to see, or some Xander centric episode where he's busy and he can't morph, or he is sick, or something.
Yeah. And you know what? Now that you mention that, I bet this feels like 3 episodes. It feels like a Xander episode, the stuff at the end, and the clip show, and like the 3 different ideas. Because the Xander through line is he's missing here, and they say he was sick, but I guess he feels better. But he doesn't really seem like it. And then in the Megazord too, they ask him again, like, "Aren't you sick?" And he's like, "No, I'm fine." Like, why'd they ask him again? But then he's pretending to be sick, I guess, while they're painting, and then takes the credit for it. But there isn't that moment where he learns his lesson, or like, why was he doing this?
He's just a jerk.
Yeah, it's just this, like, it's not even a B plot. It's like a C or D plot that Xander is just being lazy, maybe.
Yeah.
This episode, but it's not really.
What did we just have? We had the don't be lazy because the whole world could turn into a dark magic world. So don't do it, guys.
It's very weird. It's very weird.
It goes back to, and I hate saying the same thing every other episode, it feels like, but it's just crazy inconsistent.
Yeah. It is. The power levels, the character motivations, it's just...
Later this episode, 2 Rangers with these same powers just annihilate Koragg.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. And over the course of a season, powers change and there's power creep and all that. But like one adventure to the next, and then within the same episode.
10 minutes apart, it's like ridiculous.
Yeah. So here's the Megazord fight you were talking about. That's like,
Oh yeah, and then they just annihilate him in Megazord form.
yeah. And I thought there was going to be something going on there, but it's just a normal fight where they win, and it's like, okay. And then again, I guess you're feeling better enough to fight. Like, yeah, they're definitely the Xander thing definitely feels like there was parts of that plot cut out. And I'm not saying, boy, I really wish I saw that.
And then this part, it was like, oh, they're actually going to do something bad. And then it's just, the whole episode highlights bad writing.
I didn't feel stakes at all. The last couple episodes, like, even though in the end everything's because I was like, oh, what are they going to do? I wasn't worried that Koragg was going to beat them. I wasn't worried about the trial of Koragg or who was going to win. Like, none of it worried me. It felt like none of it mattered.
Here's the other thing, because I know we're using Sentai footage, but whatever. But like, they weren't even infected for like 10 seconds.
Yeah, no,
nothing matters. Koragg just goes up. You're defenseless. I'm leaving.
Yeah,
hang on one sec. It's funny that his Megazord, or no, I'm getting it confused with Loud Force, the Predator Megazord. It is the Predator effect, where it's like, oh, wait, drop your weapon, and then the Predator won't fight you. It's like, why don't all of us drop our weapons, and then the Predator won't fight us?
Right.
No, we have to fight. Like, it's dumb. It's like, oh, sorry, I have the upper hand, I'm leaving. And then they highlight it for 5 minutes with a clip show.
Yes. I agree with all that, but also, like you said with the Xander thing, like, they could have led up to it. This scene with the virus and thing was didn't really work and was forced and quick, but they could have led up to that and had Koragg talking about, like, I don't like, the way you do things, like just, I don't know, like, make it more of a story than just like, once again, because there's a difference between winning dishonorably and like, well, no, you had a fight and he had sort of, I don't know how you're supposed to win. Like he said, how are you supposed to win? Like, I don't know. Like, yeah.
Yeah. And then they highlight this clip show of like, you're on trial because you're too easy on the Rangers. Well, you're a deceptive guy, and here's clips of that. And it's like, no, Necrolize deceptive. Wait, why am I thrown into this? Like, it's just a bunch of pointing fingers.
She kind of betrays Koragg, but like, was she on Koragg's side ever? Who cares? And
everything.
And they had
about
the clip show, which included clips from like the last episode, which is always great when they do that.
Yeah,
here's our lovely commercial.
I think it's a bad clip show because all they did was highlight negative things and not positive things.
I think,
like, I wasn't jazzed going back in time, seeing these things that we've already seen. It just made me frustrated from the things we've already seen.
I mean, I guess from that point of view, I understand why you'd say that. I don't necessarily agree because I don't like clip shows. A good clip show, I still don't like. Like, I'm just not a fan of clip shows. And so the reason I say as clip shows go, I like this one because the clips were quick. Sometimes you watch them and it's like, hey, remember that? And you see 3 minutes of a show you've already seen. They were quick clips and there was a lot of new stuff. Yes, it's Sentai footage. Yes, it's filler, but it's something different. Did not love this episode, but if it was more filler, more clips, I would like it less.
I might actually have liked it better if we got more clips and not the third act of this episode in this episode specifically.
I'm trying to remember what the third act is as we go.
The third act is they decide, like, the master's like, oh, you guys have to go kill Daggeron. Go do it.
There's Xander pretending not to be able to paint.
And that's the other thing. It's like, are you sick? Kinda.
Yeah, why are you there? Yeah, the Daggeron thing seemed weird, and it's like, and whoever beats him, but then they go there to beat him together. So it's like, well, wait, what? How do you like? I thought they each take a run at him. It's just
everything sucks in this episode. I'm sorry. Like, some of the action looks okay from like the new action we're seeing, but like the power levels are all over the place. No, you never know who's going to win, not based on what we've seen before, but because sometimes it's a coin flip and they're like, oh, your new powers are worthless against people you fought 20 times.
Right. Yeah. And then this is where they said, okay, like he was like, I'll fight you. He's like, no, go fight Daggeron. Daggeron's like, okay, here we go.
And Daggeron's picking potatoes, I guess, in the quarry.
For Udana. Now they're going to fight him. And like, yeah, there is some wild flipping around on the wires. Somewhere in here, Daggeron gets hit and he's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Like.
And again, assuming all of this is like American footage, I'm like, not in a mean way, used other stuff. Yeah. This was just not. It didn't make me like the episode with all this new footage.
They could have spent less money and made it
better. Just had Xander have character arc without needing stunts. I don't know.
This is the part you're talking about where then two of the Rangers went up against him and like did
In regular modes for a little bit. Like, dude, everything about this makes no sense. And look, Koragg's just getting annihilated by half the amount of people.
Yeah. And some of it's Sentai, but then like what? I don't know, reorganize it. I don't know. Just have one fight. Because it's in that same episode. If it was like 5 episodes later, it would be less annoying. But it's like, this just happened. Why is it different now? Like,
or in the times you are using American footage, give us a quick explanation. Oh, the master supercharged you. Oh, the master took away your power to make it difficult on you.
Yeah.
Something, dude.
Yeah.
Something.
I would even love it because the mummy guy, Imperius or whatever his name is, since he wants to defeat the master and doesn't like Koragg and he's all about duplicity, I would love it if the reason he was losing because Imperius did some kind of spell on him that he didn't know. Like, little D, like he taps him on the back, like, all right, we're rivals, but we're going to do good together.
Yeah, he did like a power draining spell where the weaker he gets, the stronger I get.
And it would explain everything and be like a cool character thing for him, but no. But the master's like, nope, okay, you still have honor. You're good. You're good. You could be with me.
You deciphered that really well. What the master is saying, I don't know what the master is saying ever.
Well, I don't. The master doesn't say it, but Koragg.
I know. I'm poking at the show, not at you.
You're right. Imperius, that's the name. But then, and then she's like, "Oh, I wanted to be your friend." He's like, "Who cares?" And then I love though that the master's like, "Fine, you're loyal." And then immediately starts getting these flashes of this other life, which, comes into play a lot in the next episode.
Yeah,
but. Yeah, and then I'm fine with this joke that they don't know how, because I was thinking like, what are they painting? It looks like they're gonna be painting garbage and like they're just slapping colors on there, and then they look and it's like, oh yeah, it's just like a mess of
just garbage.
Color. Yeah, it's just garbage. And then, but then the owner whose name I forget likes it. Toby, yeah, Toby likes it because why not? He's a weird dude, so that all works out fine for me. And then here's Xander, who's like, yeah, it was my vision, and nothing happens. He doesn't get caught. Well, I guess they throw that at him, but it's not like, it's just weird. It's just weird.
Also, like, I know how many people have mentioned how tight scheduling is on Power Rangers. For an episode where you had a lot of painting, you didn't need to do those throwaway gags of everybody being covered in paint and then like having to go get cleaned up and like redo makeup and all that stuff and like something. Just verbal. You could keep it verbal. We don't need slapstick with paint.
That takes more writing. That's harder. I'm saying like we've seen when they try to do jokes that don't land, like that. It is harder. I'm not being facetious. So if you have less time, someone throwing paint on someone, it's easier to write than like, okay, what's a joke that we could say that'll be funny but not inappropriate and not like,
I would have rather a bad joke than the slapstick that I didn't care about.
You say that, but what if they're like, boy, this job stinks. You sure it's not your feet, Xander?
I would have been fine with that.
You're the worst.
Because I already didn't like this episode.
I hated myself as I was saying that joke. And you're like, I like it.
So yeah, the more we nitpicked this episode, the more I disliked it. Just because, again, I've said it so much. I hate sounding like a broken record, but the season has so much potential, and all I'm learning each episode is that for some reason it was squandered for no conceivable reason I know of. Like, everything is easily fixable. It's not a budget issue. It's not a Sentai issue as far as I know.
No.
Like, just
there is some weird Sentai footage that they were using, but they didn't have to use that, or they could have explained it better. It you know what I'll say? This episode and the next one, to be honest, like little preview of what I think with the next one, both of them feel like they are trying to squeeze a whole lot in when they don't have to.
Yeah,
especially with this one because it's just a clip show. But they were trying to put so much in there. Like, why? Like,
yeah. Whereas we've had other one-off episodes where it's like, somebody's a vampire today.
Yeah,
you're like,
that's it.
You're like, you could have sprinkled some A-plot in there, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
whatever. But catch us next week when we review episode 22, which is a part 1 of a multi-parter. Found that out when we watched it. But until next time, I have been the Big Dog.
Me, Gazbot.
And to the power. See y'all later.
Next time. Should I do end credits?
Yeah. Pew, 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 pew.
So yeah, we're recording back to back. We'll be away next week, so we're trying to have 2 episodes a month. I'm going to also try to have the interviews that we bring up Saturday up. I can promise the regular episodes will be up. I can't promise the Saturday interview episode will be up.
It's all good. At least we got an episode out in a week. That's what matters.
All right, I'm gonna end it as soon as this right here.